Hello, good morning. It's Q&A day, and we've got 6 questions on my desk. You can't see, but I've got a bunch of things to show you, some products that I use because I got some specific questions asking about sauces, seasonings. That's one question. What's more beneficial in terms of salt, Celtic or Himalayan? Adrenal cocktails. I posted about that this morning. When should we take them? Struggling to meditate. Any tips for that? Does tea count toward my water intake? And last but not least, what do you do when you lose your appetite? So we're going to start right off the bat here with what are the best sauces, seasonings to flavor foods? My chicken is getting pretty bland. I understand. And so that's why I like to switch up the flavors that I'm seasoning my food. And I also like to switch up how I'm preparing the food. So I will sometimes have barbecue chicken breasts on the barbecue or on the grill. I will sometimes have them smoked by Rob. Sometimes I will just cut them up in chunks. I'll either throw them in a pan with a little bit of avocado oil. Sometimes I will throw them in my air fryer. Sometimes I also put them in my slow cooker and then I shred it up, and I've got shredded chicken for different meals throughout the day. Now, when it comes to sauces, I love this brand, Naked and Saucy. Now, I don't have any other sauces in my fridge at the moment, but I know there is like a sweet and sour. I believe there's a Thai sauce. They've got a bunch of different ones. This is the soy sauce that I use, but this is the brand to look for. Naked and Saucy. The ingredients are fantastic. Just highly suggest. So if you're looking for some sauces for stir fries or just to spice up, it's not the correct word, but flavor your meats or your dishes, then that is my go-to. Now, in terms of seasonings, like I will use lemon and herb. Sometimes I'm feeling like Greek, so I will do Greek. Sometimes it's Italian. Big one in our house is Jamaican jerk chicken. I also like to flavor with some curry once in a while. And that's how I keep things interesting in my house. I salt everything as well, which is one of the other questions that I'll be answering right away. But do not be afraid to use seasonings like this. Even fresh herbs are fantastic. Lots of salt, and then cooking in different ways, baking, frying, air frying, barbecuing, grilling, smoking. Like those are all fantastic ways to prepare your meats. Next question, what's more beneficial, Celtic or Himalayan sea salt? They both are fantastic. I buy this huge jug of pink salt at Costco. This is what I put in my water. I put it on my fruit. I put it on everything. In the morning, I will typically use this sea salt. I got this off, got it on Amazon actually. I don't know if it's a Celtic salt. It is a Celtic salt. Okay, a premium Celtic salt. So I'll show you what it looks like. And I actually just put a few. So it's kind of like a, where's my hand? It's kind of like a thicker salt. And I will put that under my tongue first thing in the morning, but let's just not waste. Right now, I'll put the rest of my coffee. And that's like really, really helpful to get your, ooh, I need some water. Or coffee, why not? Really helpful for your adrenal glands, for stress response. It's great for energy levels. We need sodium for energy. If you're fatigued in the morning, if you're dragging your butt, please don't start your day with coffee. start your day with a little bit of salt. You can put it either directly in your mouth and drink some water, or mix your salt in water, but both are fantastic. If you have one or the other, you're doing great. There's lots of amazing minerals in both salts, and I'll tell you right now, with all the HTMA tests that I have run on women in the last year, we are very deficient in macro minerals, which are calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium, and you can get a lot of these minerals in salt, and of course in mineral drops as well. So you can Google that. Mineral drops are fantastic to add to your water. Now, next question. Excuse me. You posted about adrenal cocktails this morning. When should we make these adrenal cocktails? So it's best to do them like earlier in the day, and I say earlier in the day. If you are somebody who relies on a lot of coffee or caffeine, I would do your best to stick to 1 cup. If you're somebody who's drinking like 3-4 cups a day, then slowly wean yourself off and replace your coffee with adrenal cocktails. It's going to make a massive difference in your health, your energy levels, your cravings, your mood. It's best, like if you have a coffee in the afternoon, to replace that with an adrenal cocktail. You just don't want to be drinking them like later in the day, in the evening per se, because they can be energizing. And that's not really the time that we necessarily want energy. I will sip on it in the morning and into the afternoon. I actually buy these big coconut waters from Costco. I will pour the entire thing into a pitcher. I then squeeze an entire lime, so I'll cut this in half and obviously squeeze the entire lime into that pitcher, and then I will add my sea salt, 1/4 teaspoon. I don't really measure, actually, I just kind of pour it in there, but you want to start slow. Like if you're new to adding salt, if you're new to adrenal cocktails, you want to make sure that you are going slowly, because salt can have you retain some water. So if you want the PDF that I have created, just send me a document, just send me a message, and I will share that with you. But you can have it with your meals, you can have it in between meals, you can have it in place of your afternoon coffee or caffeinated drink. And you will likely notice a difference in how you feel, your cravings, your energy levels. All right, next. Gosh, I'm struggling today. I didn't get my 7 hours of sleep last night. Oh man, I'm struggling to meditate. Either I keep hearing my kids or I keep running through lists to get done. Any suggestions would be helpful. Now, meditation is a practice. You're not going to be amazing at it, even if you've been doing it for years and years and years. It's a practice because we cannot shut our brain off. We're always going to have some type of thought or something that we are focusing on. If your kids are maybe being bothersome, investing in a pair of noise canceling headphones or sticking earbuds in your ears might just help to block out the noise. Now, if you do have thoughts running through your head, that's normal. It's okay. Accept that that is happening, and accept that you are going to be thinking things. Take that thought and visualize it as a cloud, is what I like to mention or say to my clients. Visualize it as coming in and then just watching it float by. And if you have another thought come in, visualize it coming in and watching it float by. Just acknowledge that it's there. Try to remain neutral to that thought. And of course, after you're done your meditation, you can write down get to-do list and get those thoughts out of your head onto paper. And that's just going to kind of help decrease stress and make you feel a little bit more organized in terms of what you have to do with that list that may be a mile long. Now, with meditation. Like there's several different forms of doing it too. Guided meditations are fantastic. There's a ton on YouTube. Personally, I use an app called Down Dog. It's got meditations on it. It has a bunch of different yogas. I absolutely love it because you can choose like the voice that you want to be talking back to you. You can choose how fast you go through your yoga. Now I'm going away from the meditation, but it's a really, really cool app and one that I highly suggest. Now, meditation can also kind of, I guess, coincide with breath work. And so if you're struggling with meditation, just focusing on your breathing is huge. If you have your legs up a wall for 2 to 5 minutes, that's a form of meditation and like slowing down your breath, slowing down your nervous system, and I guess slowing down your breathing too if you're focusing on it. So if things are just like so busy, your kids are running around, this is something I will often do in the middle of the day if I find myself worked up, if I've had a tough conversation. If I just feel like I need a few minutes to myself, I will pop into my hallway and stick my legs up a wall, and immediately I can feel some calmness coming over me. So that may be an option for you. Next, does tea count towards your water intake? Yes. If it is herbal tea, I drink a ton of tea. I drink 2 of these per day. One is nettle, one is dandelion tea. I count that towards my water intake. Now, if you're adding cream and sugar, that's not going to count. Caffeinated beverages, I don't count towards my water intake either. I will count coconut water towards my water intake because it is very hydrating. I will, count, of course, my filtered, remineralized water towards my intake as well. I don't count adrenal cocktails if they have orange juice in them, but you can make adrenal cocktails several different ways. And like I told you, I make mine with this, lemon, and salt. So I will count it towards my water intake. Hopefully that's not too confusing, but there's different ways you can make adrenal cocktails. Last but not least, what do you do when you lose your appetite? I'm not hungry, I just don't feel hungry. So this is kind of a loaded question. Not being hungry can be based on so many things. You're not feeling well, you're fighting something, you are dealing with more stress. Like some people who are stressed eat nothing at all. Some people who are stressed eat everything in sight. So it depends on the individual, but not being hungry is not necessarily a good thing. If you are somebody who's just been like ignoring your hunger cues, or you're not hungry in the morning, that's a sign of a lower functioning body in general, but metabolism, thyroid function, hormones could be all over the place. You've got a couple hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin. Those can be, skewed as well. We, as women, I think have been, not taught is the right word, but we have, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself, been told to like ignore those hunger cues, right? And that thin is optimal, and all of these things are not okay because not eating is just going to lead to so many other symptoms. If we don't fuel our body, things are going to start shutting down. Like our body is very smart. It's going to optimize blood flow in the body. It's going to give energy to your heart so that it can keep blood flowing. Like I said, it's going to make sure that your lungs are moving so that you are breathing. But things like digestion, things like creating babies, having cycles, sex drive, things like your hair, your nail growth, your moods, did I say digestion? Like all of these things are going to be impacted if you're not eating enough. So what do you do when you lose your appetite? It's tricky. Of course, if you're sick, your body is probably trying to use the energy that it has in order to rid of that sickness. But even if you're not hungry, you're dealing with stress or whatever it might be, I'm still going to encourage you to eat those 3 main meals. That might look different and probably will look different than if you did have an appetite, but always thinking protein forward, some type of fiber is just going to help you get the nutrients that you ultimately need for you to feel your best. I think that easy digestible foods are the way to go. So when I say easily digestible foods, I'm talking like smoothies, something that's like blended, that's liquid, soups, stews, can all be super helpful just because your body doesn't have to like work as hard to digest it, and it's just easier to like drink your calories than it is to sit there and chew your food. So hopefully that's helpful. If there's any other questions or comments, you know the drill. Just post them in the comments below, and I'll be back next week. Enjoy the rest of your day.